Hey, my beautiful tribe, how are you? Aren't you feeling that time is moving faster? The way I feel it, the way I see it. Just a few days ago, we were in June, and now we're in mid-August. Somehow, time is flying by. And August is supposed to be a pivotal month. All astrologers have talked about it, about the impending financial crash, about political upheaval. So I thought, since we are in the mid of August, why not analyze the planetary movements and see what is in store for us? The questions I'm focusing on are world finances, important, politics, of course, particularly India-centric, since I live in India, and of course USA, because it's a major player and it's in turmoil. August 8 to 10, there was a potent cluster of planetary aspects. Mars, Saturn, Neptune. It was a very brief cluster from 8th to 10th of August. Mars was opposing Saturn and Neptune, and they were forming a grand trine with Uranus and Pluto. This configuration brought in heightened volatility. I was thinking that was the time the stock market would crash, but it hasn't happened yet. Thank God. I'm happy to state that the finances right now seem stable. Probably it's because of Jupiter and Venus. Go through my previous videos, but the Mars-Neptune aspects suggested floods, which happened, and the floods of course affected commodities, which also happened, and the Mars and Pluto trine. The Mars and Pluto trine means power struggles. Whenever there is volatility, the first thing that gets affected is the market. So I would suggest caution right now. Mercury went direct in Cancer, which brought a lot of clarity in financial decisions, improving communication, resolving delays in trading and investment, which has brought a temporary stabilization in industries like communication technology. The lingering effects of Mercury combustion around August 29. Combustion means that the Sun and Mercury are very close together, and this is going to cause minor disruptions. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction is expansive, optimistic. I've talked about it in my previous videos, and it is driving a secondary high in the stock market. This alignment supports sectors like communication, media, technology. However, this optimism is going to be short-lived. Rahu's influence on Aquarius could create speculative bubbles, especially in tech stocks and AI. So be cautious, people. And then we come to the major thing. There is a Gandanta happening with Sun's transition. Gandanta is, like I've explained earlier, a karmic knot between water and fire signs. And it's a very critical period. This transit will occur around 16th of August, and it's associated with market pullbacks, uncertainty. Gandanta means a shift, and its combination with negative dashas, planetary periods, may contribute to a stock market correction. Now let's see sector-wise. First of all, let's talk about the metals, gold and silver. Gold is going to go higher and higher. If you have some money to spare, you can put it on gold because it's going to appreciate. Gold is not going down anytime soon. And right now, Sun is in Leo, and Leo is all about the Sun, the gold. But be very aware of other metals also. We all focus on gold because it's glamorous. The less glamorous metals like copper, iron, silver are also going to appreciate. I've been saying repeatedly, if you have money, buy silver. And you can physically buy silver and keep it at home. It is safe, it's reasonably priced, and it is appreciating, and it will keep on appreciating. Another thing is technology and AI. Rahu in Aquarius aspected by Jupiter. This is going to continue to fuel growth in AI and technological sectors despite a small hiatus in August. Do not over speculate. Rahu has a tendency of making you rash, making you aggressive. So be very careful about that. But if you can do it balanced, then it is a very good sector to a good sector to invest in. Banking is going through a lot of ups and downs. A couple of very famous banks are going to merge. A few banks are going to be liquidated. They will collapse. So be very careful and be very watchful, my friends. Property. Housing all around the world is in crisis. Here in India, price correction can happen because properties in certain cities are over appreciated. They are overpriced. So price correction almost to 50 or 60% can happen in Gurgaon. Mumbai too will see some price correction. So will Bangalore. But in Mumbai and Bangalore, I think 10 to 20%. If you want to invest in chemical sectors, invest in pharma, invest in food, energy, crude oil mixed signals, and there will be longer term highs due to Rahu in Aquarius and ongoing geopolitical issues. But there is risk. The Russia-Ukraine crisis can bring a lot of ups and downs in energy. Cryptocurrency, again, volatility is expected due to Uranus's disruptive influences. Now let's talk about politics. Politics, first of all, I'll say that since the sun is in Leo, the focus is on global leaders. A few global leaders will go into controversy. Certain global leaders could also lose their lives. Mars, Uranus, Pluto grand trine between 8th and 10th brought transformative geopolitical events. Mars Uranus aspect on Earth brought in natural disasters like earthquake, the Russian earthquake especially. Whereas there is another thing in the trine, the Mars-Pluto alignment. This, my friends, brought a lot of power grabs and conflicts, particularly in Russia, Ukraine and Middle East. There is a false flag event, a X event, which is very risky, and that is involving Europe. I think Iran is going to give its all into attacking the US, and there will be Russian war going into escalation. The Venus-Jupiter conjunction is going to bring a treaty, I think, in Russia and Ukraine, but Trump is going to have a separate agenda. There is going to be volatility. Trump is going to try and effect a treaty. It might last for a little while. We are watching these dialogues going on, and maybe they can succeed in cobbling together a kind of a treaty, but I don't think it's going to work out for a long time. I expect a terror attack on US. I expect escalation in tensions between Russia, Ukraine, US China, US Iran. India may gain diplomatically. And I see Trump going down. I do not expect him to go down in the sense of losing his life or something, but there will be definitely a loss in stature. So the key is astrological themes are volatility and caution. We need to exercise caution in the financial and political sectors. Speculative investments should be avoided, especially in oversold sectors. AI and crypto are oversold sectors. Venus in Cancer from August 20th and Sun in Leo are bringing in need for emotional intelligence and strong leadership. I think the world should look for diplomatic resolutions. So these were the inferences, my readings of the planetary configuration. But otherwise, let me talk about what is happening in the world. As per what intuition tells me, this is slightly in the future, I think that we are going to see a change in India's attitude towards its neighbors. Did you hear Modi ji's flex in his speech on August 15th? I found the timing significant. I expected a shift by the full moon, but it came right on the solar return of India's chart. Now I see that India is going to shift from being reactive to being aggressive. India, in all its political and independent history, has waited until others have attacked our soil before we react. But I think we are seeing a change. India is going to take decisive steps against its neighbors, especially Pakistan, in the first week of September. Another thing I see is Jupiter will be retrograde from November 11th, 2025 to March 10, 2026. Historically, whenever Jupiter has gone retrograde, it has brought challenging time to the leadership in India. So I see a decline in stature and popularity of the ruling party and its leadership. Unfortunately, I do not see anyone who has such a strong birth chart that they can take over leadership. But Modi ji is going to lose stature. When Modi ji is going to lose stature, he has a very strong influence of Ketu in his chart, which makes him want to relinquish power. But if he abdicates, I do not see him abdicating to the opposition. He's not going to give Rahul Gandhi his leadership, but he will transfer power to somebody in BJP. I think this will happen in 2026, 2027. As to who he gives his leadership to, I do not know, because I do not have the birth charts of other leaders in BJP. Now let's talk about Trump. Because US is a very, very significant power, and besides, India and US are going through a trade war. Then this trade war, it's very interesting. You know, Trump reminds me of Ravan. Ravan Lanka lekar डूबा था. The same way, Trump is going to oversee the decline of the US. He inherited vast amount of wealth, but he could have grown it significantly, which he hasn't. So I do not see him being a financial genius and winning the trade war in the long run. But besides, I see Trump's bad time coming by the end of the year and next year. 7th October onwards, USA will be in a state of open rebellion. I foresee people taking to the streets with weapons. And when this kind of an open rebellion happens in USA, enemies of USA like Iran, North Korea will take advantage and strike blows against US. And Trump is not the world's most tactful leader. He will say something triggering under stress, and his own people will get very angry. Given the internal strife, I do not expect the trade war against India to be very effective. I do not expect Trump's world leadership efforts gaining lots of traction either. Now, talking about remedies. For individuals, I would say offering water to the sun, chanting Surya mantras is a very good way of going through August. Chanting Hanuman Chalisa also works, and practicing meditation, maintaining disciplined routine to counter Saturn's restrictive influence. Now, if you are speculating, if you are looking for day trading or taking risks in the market, I would suggest you go to an astrologer. Get a study on the 5th house influences. See, stock market is always linked with the 5th house of your birth chart. Some people make a lot of money on the stock market, but some people also lose a lot. So before you invest, consult an astrologer. Get an analysis on the 5th house and your Jupiter and your Venus. And these analyses will give you results for balanced outcomes. See, some people prosper by doing long-term investments. Some people prosper in day trading, and some people should stay away from the stock market. So be very careful, be vigilant, and if you need in-depth analysis, you can always drop a line in the comment section or get in touch with me on my socials. Until next time, namaste.